Warning, this video was made to make you laugh and nothing else. Please don't take anything I say seriously. It's not that deep, I swear. But here's every single German car and its stereotype. I made this exact video for American cars a few weeks ago, and many of you loved that video. So if you haven't seen that yet, go watch it after this, but let's begin. And we're gonna begin with the silliest brand of them all, BMW, or BMW as my fellow Englishmen say. BMWs have the worst fan base out of every single car brand on the planet. Most of their fans are under the age of 13 and can't even legally sit in the front seat of a car, but yet they'll get on their iPads and comment M5 CSG power or BMW has entered the chat on videos that have absolutely nothing to do with the BMW. But if you do own a BMW, you're most likely an insanely skilled driver. I'm talking insane control, drifting, skills, or you're just the worst driver known to man. There's genuinely no in between. Your turn signals look like this and you think tailgating the car going 95 in a 55 makes you intimidating, but the whole time you just look like an idiot. But now let's stop generalizing and get to attacking the specific owners, the specific cars. And let's begin with the most overrated BMW on the planet, the E-shitty M5. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, the E60 M5. If you bought an E60 M5, you most likely thought the price tag you got it for was a steal. But little did you know the repair bill coming your way in 2 months was gonna make you think about ending it all. And if you don't know what I mean, BMW thought it would have been a good idea to put an F1 derived engine in a 4-door family sedan. I'm sure you can see how that will turn out. If you buy any other generation M5 though, if it was an F90, an E39, an F10 especially, you have great taste. That F10, that car is stupid underrated. If you bought a G80, or should I say if you own a G80, because 90% of the time it's daddy's money, you cannot drive. Because tell me why every single time I open TikTok, there's another crashed G80 on my screen. You guys have literally taken over the crowd killer title from the Mustang. And what's worse is that this car literally has X-Drive. I drove one of these cars and you genuinely have to try to crash it. So I never understood why so many of them end up upside down. Then it clicked to me. BMW drivers typically have below average IQ. Stop crashing these cars. It's not that hard. I say that as I crash my Corvette. If you drive an E92 M3, you most likely look like this. But if you drive a BMW i8, you're most likely a Corse seller who bought this car to pretend it's a supercar and sell your shitty Corse. But once you get into that car and decide to step on it to feel the power of a screaming 3-cylinder, you begin to question everything. And honestly, I don't blame you. That car was the biggest fumble in modern automotive history. I feel like there's so much BMW stereotypes, but don't worry, we're almost done. If you drive anything with the B58, and yes, that's including the BMW Supra, you either have the car bone stock or you're pushing an insane amount of power. The irony with that though is the ones with the stock B58 are the ones with the biggest mouths and claim that the B58 is the greatest engine on the planet. They're the ones who would trash talk every single person like their car in a stock form isn't going head to head with the Honda Accord 2.0 T. Please. And if you drive a BMW that isn't an M or an M Lite at the very least, you definitely post steering wheel pics on your story. But you make sure to cover the cluster with your Alibaba watch so nobody can see that your check engine light is on. And stop putting M mirror caps on your 328i. You're embarrassing yourself. But whew, that's enough on BMW though. I feel like I talked too much on you guys. I'm sorry. I've said what I needed to say. And by the way, just to throw that out there, this is completely off topic, but there is no single BMW on the planet that's better than a Corvette made after the C6 Z06. Just throwing that out there. But now let's move on to the next German brand, Mercedes. And oh boy, a lot of you guys are not going to like what I have to say about this car brand. This footage you're currently watching was recorded off my Redtiger F17 Elite dashcam. This is the world's first dashcam with full color night vision for the cabin view, instead of the dull black and white footage you're used to seeing on every other dashcam. The F17 Elite captures true colors inside your car at night, so every detail is clear and realistic. Just look at the difference between my phone camera and this dashcam. This is nighttime pitch black. And just look how colorful the dashcam makes it look. On top of that, you're getting a triple camera setup, front, rear, and cabin view, recording in 4K, 2.5K, and 1080p, powered by Sony Starvis 2 sensors. With HDR, it handles bright sunlight and dark mode without washing out license plates or losing detail. And it also protects your car when you're not around, and that's extremely important for me personally. The low light parking guard uses advanced imaging to capture accurate color footage even in near darkness, giving you reliable 24-hour monitoring. And with extremely fast 5.8G Wi-Fi 6, your clips transfer up to 10 times faster than traditional 2.4G Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi. So sharing and reviewing footage is quick and seamless. And did I mention that it's literally touchscreen? Trust me, this dashcam will change your life. And if you want to pick this up for yourself, make sure you click the first link in my bio and use code F17ECAM to get more than $70 off your order. You're welcome. If you drive a Mercedes and the interior looks like this, you might have a little sugar in your tank, I'm not gonna lie. Because why on earth do you need your interior to look like a gaming PC? This is an extremely hot take to many, but I'm taking a BMW M interior over a Mercedes interior any day. I don't need 50 screens in my interior to look like a circus to enjoy my car. If you drive a G63, you're rich, we get it. You're rich and you have no taste. But now, if you drive an E, C, CLS, and especially an S63, or even a GT63, you're rich and you have taste, so respect to you. And Lord, all those cars I just mentioned sound insane. They sound so good. Easily the best sounding cars out of the big three German car trio. Mercedes knows how to make an exhaust note. The C300 and E300 are typically the first cars of teenagers with rich parents, so most of them can't drive to save their lives. And they're the most cocky people on the planet. But I'm gonna say this now, Mercedes is extremely overrated, at least to own them. Build quality issues, reliability problems, and most of them are at the bottom of their class when it comes to performance in general. But one thing I can't take away is how good these look. Like an AMG GT spits on every single BMW ever made, and damn, it's not close. Anyways, let's go on to Porsche. And there's not really much I can say about the Porsche owner because this is not in my tax bracket. So I'm gonna leave that to you guys in the comments. What are some common stereotypes with Porsche drivers? I'm interested to seeing what you guys have to say about that. The only one I personally can think of is the quote-unquote middle-aged entrepreneurial woman who get the most clapped out Cayenne in existence for a little over $10,000 to go around bragging that they bought a Porsche, knowing damn well that the AC doesn't work and the electronics are on 1 HP. Other than that though, every single Porsche owner I've talked to are pretty cool, so you guys can get a pass. Moving on to a brand that gets 0 passes, we have Audi. Easily the worst out of the big three. I'm joking, relax please. It's my least favorite, but it's not the worst. If you got an Audi, you settled for the awkward middle. If you wanted sportiness and driver focus, you should have gone a BMW, to be honest. If you wanted luxury and comfort, you should have gone a Mercedes. What does Audi excel at against its competitors? If you got an RS, you're either doing well off or you're just terrible with money, because these cars are extremely overpriced. I'm sorry. They're extremely nice, don't get me wrong, but no one can argue that the price of these cars shouldn't be what they are. And the worst part is that the cars that they are being compared to, like the RS7 and the M5, they're typically almost half the price. Like, why is an RS7 this expensive and its competitor, the M5 competition, which is arguably better, this much cheaper than it? I don't understand. But hey, if you drive a TTRS or an R8, you have great taste, and I can respect your choice. Me personally, I still would choose the C8 Z06 over the Audi R8 and keep the change, but you can't go wrong with either. If you drive a non-S or non-RS Audi, you're an NPC, and that's it. But finally though, let's talk about the final car brand, and that is Volkswagen. As an American, there's only one way I feel about people who get Volkswagen. There's something wrong with you. Because out of all the options on this planet, why are you getting a Golf? And you guys never make it sound good. Finding a Golf that sounds good is like finding an Infiniti G35 that hasn't been clapped. And plus, they're all slow, and they all look like shoeboxes. Please do better and get yourself an actual car. That's it. Now, to be fair, I don't know much about German cars like I do American cars, so there isn't much stereotypes I could muster up, you know? But feel free to let me know which ones I missed in the comments. But for now, until next time, my friends, take care. Don't take this video seriously, please. It's not that deep.